All right, let's get started. So you're Hoyoung main, and you're trying to set up a zero farmer.
That is correct. I know the whole you gotta have a Kana thing if you want to reach endgame, but
Mm-hmm.
don't like it, man. And I'm sure you've heard it before. I just don't like it.
I have heard it before. Yeah, it's not everyone's cup of tea, and it's just good to realize that it isn't, so that you can decide for yourself. You know, what are you going to be able to put all the hours in? If it's not something you enjoy, then it's just it's gonna just take away all of the fun in the game, and that's not what we want.
Yeah, I quit it at 193. It's still in my Legion, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no more.
Okay, that's good to know. I mean, the thing that you have to, of course, contest with at that point is that your totems are shared, right?
Right.
So as long as you feel like that fits within your game plan and within the amount of hours that you're planning to spend and everything, they cut into each other's possibilities. That's just the main thing to keep in the back of your mind. That's why people go for the Kana, so that it doesn't cut into your totems, right?
Yeah.
But
Well,
I assume you've considered that and you're okay with that.
yeah. I'm trying to slow down a little bit. Like, I mean, I've been going like 5+ hours for like a month now, and like
Mm-hmm.
I wanna average more like 3-4 hours. Just have a little bit more time to do like study and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's addicting, man. It's like my vicarious life at this point.
Yeah, I understand. Um, yeah, maybe it's a good idea then to make sure that they share totems, so you don't get
Yeah,
completely
yeah,
disproportionate.
and like, man, just watching those L Cup videos with like just zero farming, it's like I'm like, damn, I could definitely do that like all night long if I had to,
Mm-hmm.
to like work out in like a 22 one day.
Is that so you're more considering like, okay, there's an event soon, I need to make a lot of money, then I can just go hard on that kind of thing?
Yeah, like so how I've been I mean like down in my Legion I have like my inventory screenshot and it's significantly under a bill, so it's just kind of like I have an idea of an upgrade and then I just like go hard, do that upgrade and
Mm-hmm.
then just have fun with my character for a bit and then plan on another upgrade, do another farming cycle, etc.
Right. So but you basically are like spending it as soon as you get it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm definitely a make a bill, spend a bill kind of guy like lately.
I mean, up to a certain point, that makes sense, right? You don't want to just slow down and yeah, just sit on your money and then do nothing with it. That's not
Yeah.
very, uh,
Yeah.
it's not
And,
very
and
efficient.
it was fun like building out my Legion and stuff, getting everybody to a certain level, playing with all the new skills and
Mm-hmm.
you know that occupied me for a bit.
Yeah. So you're trying to set up zero. Where's the zero at this point?
He's in one of the screenshots. He's
Yeah.
I just did 212 to 220 last night just to make sure that like I could farm on zero for long hours if need be. Like
Mm-hmm.
so checks out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll go over those. Any other like restrictions, I guess, or things? Well, like, what is the eventual goal? You said general progression.
Yeah, I mean, like, I wanna go all the way, but I
Mm-hmm.
gotta be like realistic, and I know I'm behind because you're gonna laugh at me, but I couldn't solo CRA until my 230s, and I didn't start Lotus until 245.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like way behind because I was like, no man, I want to learn the mechanics, I want to get C-Bell down, and like that took a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I just got into my Abso lately. Grinding's not a problem, but so like the levels were there, but like the gear wasn't, and like now like my gear's got to catch up, so I gotta swing that way, and then like things are getting exponentially more expensive, so
Mm-hmm.
farmer
Mm-hmm.
time, yeah.
When you say behind, like behind what?
Well, I mean, based on your spreadsheet, I'm like 15K stat behind, roughly.
Oh, you mean like for the level stuff?
Yeah, for a 251, I mean, I should be inching close to like 40K, but I'm like half that.
Um, really? We have 50K?
So 40. Yeah.
40? Well, I redid it a little bit. I think you... Nah. 40's, that's not where we want you to be. I've got it set at 24k at 240. And then up to like 45k at 269, so... That's quite a wide gap. That's basically when you're pushing everything from 17 up to 21 stars, you know? Like, that's a huge amount of money that you're spending. So, I mean, the stat is definitely on the lower end, but I wouldn't say you're, like, like at half what we want you to be. I wouldn't say it's that extreme.
I mean, I hate to say it, but my class has definitely carried me quite a bit.
Yeah, they're capable of quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm still one-shotting in Celis, so I'm just like, well, damn.
Yep.
I'll give another build of my 0, why not?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, at this point, if you're trying to set that up for, like, long-term meso making, this is the point. Yeah. This is the point where you want to take the money out, yeah. Because it doesn't go at any detriment of any kill speed, so that's the way to go.
Yeah. I like that you confirmed like that my idea was, it was working, because yeah.
Well, yeah,
I was worried that like, yeah, I was worried that I was like backstepping, but it's nice to hear it.
Backstepping in the sense that you're like, yeah, like it's a detour that's negative that ends up with you getting. I mean, so if you have the hours, you want to do it this way. Like I think leveling wise, there's still like a lot of gains to be made. But if you start running into problems like right now, you probably want to join the bosses, right? You want to join like Hard Lotus and Hard Lucid, Hard Will, and then maybe doing Hard Lotus and Hard Damien and stuff.
Actually, I got an opportunity to go on a Hard Will. I died out. I have been running like Lucid. I can solo Lotus now, normal Lotus.
Mm-hmm.
Lucid, I do it in a party. A couple of my guildies are kind of OP for their level, so it's a slight carry, but like I can put some bruises in at least,
mm-hmm.
and that's been going good. That's like I think my 3rd Lucid. Yeah, but yeah, that whole like higher boss thing just started for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then Damien, can't solo it. I just just the sword mechanics, working on it, but I duo
mm-hmm.
it with another guildie, and we just smack them around. Basically, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, but so Lotus solo, that's already gone down.
Yeah, that's been accomplished.
That's been accomplished. Okay, cool. With the what is it, like the Earth teleport through laser and shit.
Well, it's not. Well, yeah. I mean, you could use the Earth, but I just use Door.
Yeah, you could Door as well, of course. Yeah.
Yep.
It's you found that one more reliable.
Yeah, it's well, because like they're both on cooldowns, but the Earth cooldown is 6 seconds and the Door cooldown's 5. I think it's 5. It feels shorter. But yeah, or maybe it's just muscle memory, but yeah, just use Door.
Yeah, whatever works for you. Okay. Yeah, I don't know too much about like the intricacies. I only know like the flying, and then if you do the fire thing, you can fly again, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I guess for Lucid, that can be useful for the dragon and stuff. Yeah.
Well, actually, for the dragon, I mean, the easy way to do it is just to do scroll, or scroll. I don't know how to like say all those Korean words, but yeah, you just like turn into a painting, and it's your 20-second iframe.
Yep.
Yeah. Good time.
Can you in general do that every dragon?
It depends. So the cooldown is based on your hold speed.
Yeah, your hold down. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess if they're kind of in close succession, you might have to do some shenanigans and fly up and that kind of stuff.
I've never tried to put a door on like one of the sides and then just like flip the coin to where is the dragon going to go there or there. I don't know if the golems will get me if I teleport all the way across the map. I'm not sure. I've just never tried it.
Well, I mean, if you can door through the lasers, you should be able to door through the... well, no, yeah, golems hit you when you teleport, that's right. I don't know if any Hoyoungs in the chat can confirm that or not.
I see a Hoyoung Pog.
Yeah, someone is excited.
Yeah, I love this class, man. Like I got the arcane weapon on my Iran,
mm-hmm.
and then I was like, okay, well my damage sucks, because I didn't know what I was doing at all. And I'm just like, okay, what gives damage? And I saw Hoyoung's link, so I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna try Hoyoung. And then I just like never stopped leveling Hoyoung.
That's good when you just keep wanting to go and never really look back. That's when you know you picked a good class.
Yeah, no complaints at all.
Good shit. Okay. So I guess. Yeah. So how do we get that started? So I guess at this point you're mainly investing in the zero. You have all your gear here. It's your matrix for your Hoyoung. It's your entire legion. So when it comes to legion, like how much legion work do you do?
Per week, I probably do like an entire legion day, honestly. You know, so like a full, you know, 4-ish, 5-ish hour, just, you know, whatever I feel like doing. You know, I don't really have like I don't really do it systematically. I'm just kind of like, oh, I'd like to try this link. Oh, this class seems fun. Oh, whatever, you know. Oh, my friend wants to like do a regular RA. You know, let me pick my bishop or whatever. That's what we just did recently. So that's just kind of how it's been, and it's been, you know, I think I started like April. So this account, yeah, I made this account in like April, and then yeah, this is where I am. So seems to be working.
Yeah, and you got your mobbing set up with predominantly a lot of crit damage, bonus EXP. I will say, for your Legion setup, all of the EXP filled together that's 10%, and that's nice. But that's really only nice if the characters are basically already one-shotting the whole way through. So if you find that they are doing that, then this is okay. But if they need more damage to kill faster instead, more crit rate and more crit damage will net you more experience just for how quickly you can kill, rather than the bonus EXP. Because it's like efficiency-wise, it's not that great.
Yeah, this is yeah, I see exactly what you mean. This is just how Hoyoung trains.
Right, that's for Hoyoung train. Okay.
Yeah, when I do Legion, I just kind of like move it around as needed, but it's not like this is like my consistent, you know, setup.
Right. Okay. And the bottom was for bossing for the Hoyoung.
Yep.
And that current crit rate is needed to hit 100% with or without the event buff right now.
That's with. I need 1 point in hypers, so yeah, I gotta figure out that crit, but it hasn't really like slowed me down because I can still just like swap Shade Link for Lumi Link, so it's not really like a top priority. But like, yeah, you know, I gotta keep that in mind.
Which Shade Link? Shade Link for, you mean Phantom Link or?
Well, yeah, I mean, sorry. Switching when I do my bossing links, I usually use Shade just for like the RNG, like maybe. You know, it just like saves me randomly. It has before, so like I use it.
It does sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like I could always just swap that for Phantom if it takes me a minute to get that crit rate back.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and you have spare hyperstat points though, right?
Yeah. I mean, I could I can reach 1140. But like my will mechanics suck, so I just left hyperstat points just to show you that like I could reach that if like I needed to.
Yeah, and if you're doing hard will, you want to put them in arcane power, yeah. And for hard will, we're going a little bit all over the place, but we'll get back to the main the main issue before. For hard will, you find yourself dying a lot. Was it? Did you immediately do hard will, or have you practiced normal before?
My guild has been taking me on normal, you know, just to get like a feel for the boss. But we did that twice, and then like somebody just randomly Discorded me and just like, hey, you want to spot in this H will carry? And I'm like, yeah, you know. And then I couldn't even like accept the carry just because like I died out, and then I failed their test like 3 times, and I'm like, oh my god, guys, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, for the phase 2 test.
Me, yeah, it felt horrible.
Yeah, the thing with people giving carries for hard will is that ends pretty quickly if they take a lot of people with them that fail the part 2 tests, because to an extent you could be okay with it, but if everyone at party's like, okay, we should have been done like 6, 7, 8 minutes ago, can we get a move on? Yeah.
Worst, man. I felt terrible. Like I was just so embarrassed.
So for normal, well, for the test in part 2, I think the main problem is that if you look too much at other people's characters, that can really mess you up because of the delay between within the game, And the real thing you want to focus is just your movement towards the legs, right? Like stay in the corner if there's no crack on the floor, and if there's crack, just slowly move to the right, and just keep moving after every hit, and just focus on your character and focus on the legs itself, and then that's it. Don't look at the other characters too much because that'll mess with your timing.
It's definitely a very busy boss. Like there's a lot going on. Like just layer upon layer of just debris and flying this and that.
Yeah, and sometimes he does webs right before the test, so you want to make sure that your timing is good. You know, if you're communicating over voice, you probably talk about that, but like usually wait like right after the web to phase him, so he doesn't summon a web right during the test, because that can make it a bit trickier as well. You don't have as much wiggle room, right?
Yeah, webs definitely been getting me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have your iframe, but it's not that long. Yeah, to not get webbed too much, the main thing is to stay in the middle of the map, right? If you ever get pushed from the middle of the map, you'll never reach the webs. What you can also do is, if you're basically getting carried and the main thing is survivability, is equip snowshoes. If he pushes you, you don't slide all the way. You just stop way sooner, and you don't get all the way to the corner of the map. So that could be... of course, when you're bossing yourself and you want to be doing damage, there's no snowshoes there, but if you're still practicing like the survivability and your positioning and you don't want to get punished as hard, that's something you can do.
Man, that is like exactly why I wanted to talk to you, because like the insider stuff I have like no idea about. Like snowshoes, never would have thought of it.
Yeah, I recently, like a few months ago, someone mentioned it on their Kana mule. They were like, if they get run in there, if they get like a carry on their Kana mule, they use it to just survive more easily, because they're mainly in there for domaining and binding anyway, so the other stuff doesn't matter. And it helped them a lot, they said. But in general, like if you don't have that, you want to stay in the middle of the map, because you never get pushed the whole length between the middle and the web. Like you don't get pushed that far. And if you do get pushed that far, it's because you jumped. But then usually the damage of getting hit by the the hit that pushes you that far leaves you in hit immunity, so that you get pushed past the web, and then you just wait past the web until the web is gone, and then move through it again.
Oh, and to answer the question to Noah in your chat, are some of my names TOS? No, some of my names just aren't finalized, so I didn't want to make them public until like I'm comfortable with like how it is, because I kind of have like a system, like a systematic way I'm like naming my characters. I'm like really OCD about it. I've spent like too much on like name changes just to get everything just looking, I don't know, right, I guess.
You don't have to justify yourself, okay? Noah's just being a nosy. Nosy Parker, okay? Nosy Noah. Oh shit, that actually works. Nosy Noah. Yeah, you do what you want to do with your name, it's man. Yeah, so if you get knocked, and then if you're behind the web, then you just kind of stay behind the web until it's safe to come back out. But yeah, if you feel more comfortable, the thing with the snowshoes, like I would say, if you're like on a second or third character and you don't want to like mess around, but on the on your main character, of course, you want to get used to the fact that you won't have them on, right? Because it's a huge loss of your damage. So, yeah, you can try both ways. But if not, I would just say try more normal will runs. Like get in as many, maybe even just like extra practice normal will runs as possible, until you can basically do it blindfolded. And until, well, not actually, right? But, and until you find that you almost never have to use your Moonlight. Right, that Moonlight is like, it's there, but it's not really necessary for you to use very much. Because that's also going to be the thing that you probably notice between normal and hard will, is that the amount of Moonlight you get is severely reduced. And
yeah,
you really only want to use it when you really, really need to.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you saying that like multiple times in like your other progression. So like when I was in there, you know, it's definitely like, it's like more shocking even if you know it's coming, you know. It's like getting the feel down for it, it's rough.
You do have the repositioning skills a little bit, right? So you can use that to make sure that you're always behind him, and you'll get hit by the legs, but usually with healing familiars and stuff, the leg damage and the little ball damage is not too bad, as long as you just don't get knocked around by will too much in phase 1 at least, right? And don't get hit by the tornadoes, that kind of stuff. In phase 2, it's a bit trickier. You do have to stay closer to him, and the legs tend to hit pretty hard. But the pattern for the legs is usually opposite, so they usually don't really hit twice in the same spot in a row. So if you get hit and then you stop moving, then the next hit you'll be safe. the thing is, it's kind of like with the lucid lasers as well. Like if you start panicking and you start moving around a lot, you're actually more likely to hit than if you just stand still sometimes. So one of the things is just, but like being calm there, that's going to come with more experience. I just noticed that all of the letters on the character sheet is like all different fonts and different sizes. That's so weird.
Wait, on my screenshot?
Well, yeah, you have like character stat look like this, and then ability points looks like that, and stat details looks like that, and the hyperstat is kind of the same but smaller. And I didn't ever notice that it's like completely ununiform.
Oh,
That's so strange.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's gonna bug me now.
Trigger some OCD for people like, oh my god, why is it different?
Yeah, a little bit. It's all good though. I mean, if it's on next time,
yeah, they're working on the stat window soon anyway, so we'll see. The one thing I don't like about it though is that they're making the damage range take up twice the amount of space, as if it's way more important, even though it's the one thing on your stat window that's like the least important. Which is a little bit annoying, but
well, I understand like everything you mean about how it's like not really a number to go by, but I like the damage range just for like
it's
when
a big
you
number.
Well, yeah, it's nice, but like when you're trying to like compare gears and stuff like that, I mean, I feel like it like say I go from like my shoes right now, they're 15. If I go to 17 and I see like an increase in my range, like it gives me confirmation that like I did something good, you know what I mean? That's just kind of what I use it for. But yeah, I agree, those numbers aren't really.
Yeah. I'm just like, I mean, I think I got to the point where I was able to nuance what the damage range means to enough people, but then if they make it take up twice the spot, they kind of go counter to that, where it's like, no, look at the big shiny number, guys. Look at how big and shiny it is. And it's like, man, you're just, I mean, it's like I don't know what the saying is, but it's like, you're like shifting the focus to something that's not as important. I mean, it does mean something, of course, but it's like, yeah, that shouldn't be like the main focus. Like all the other numbers on there are way more important, right?
Weird that the numbers on the your boost node levels like aren't more prominent, because that's like 120% of your final damage, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or when you look at your stat window, where's your level?
Yeah.
Like your.
Well, I mean, you could do the math and like just take your main stat divided by.
Yeah, exactly.
Or.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Or like the classes in there, the guild, your fame is on there for some reason, but not your level. I don't know, man. I would switch up fame and level instantly. Oh, there's Kala. There's our Hoyoung. Kala, if you door to the side in Lucid and you go through golems by doing that, do you take damage from the golems? You die horribly. Okay, well that's what I was dreading, but thanks for confirming. You die a horrible death. All right. Yeah, break the ceiling out. You know about that, right? If you go like super high, you touch the ceiling, you can go over them.
Oh, wait. So like if I heaven flame out of map. I didn't know.
Like you fly, you have a flame, and then you fly again, like all the way up to the top, and then you can fly over. You have to be like hugging the top, like the very top. There's only like a few pixels that you can do it on. So most characters cannot do that. Like 99% of the 95% of the characters can't do it. Can anyone else do it? Can Ilium do it? I mean, they fly like all the way up, I guess. And maybe Beast Tamer?
You can fly above the strings? Oh man, in story mode V Hilla, I died so many times. It's like I don't know. I feel like I have to dodge everything, so I have the tool set. But like if I just calm down a little bit, I like die less. Yeah.
Like Xenon can? Oh yeah, with the little boosters. Wait, Adele can go over it? Wait, you would have to throw... Hang on, you'd have to throw a crystal all the way up first, then up jump, teleport to it, float, horizontal crystal, dash to it, snap back, and then feather step out of it?
Sounds a bit elaborate.
Something like that. I don't know. Kadena can with brick, but it's hard. Heroes used to be able, if you iframed first and then stepped away a little bit and then dashed through, you could do it, but you can't do that anymore.
Actually, can I ask your Hoyoung in chat like a question?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so like nobody I've ever talked to has known this. Heaven Flame says that there's no cooldown reset. So yeah, so like I know it doesn't work with Apparition, but does it work with a cooldown hat? Like, could I take it down to like the 5 seconds if I had like, okay, just hypothetically perfect gear and just maintain 100% uptime? Like, I mean, like airtime, I mean? Like, nobody's ever been able to answer that question for me. And I'm too poor to like actually make a hat and try
Just
it.
make a 5-second hat, dude. Come on.
Easy.
That's so much money.
It's one cube, yeah? What are you doing?
It's all one cube away, baby. Well, while he's chewing on that question, it's your idea is that every time you're done flying, basically the fire skill is back.
Yeah, and like I'm just wondering if I could just maintain airtime like that with a cooldown hat.
Well, the problem with the cooldown hat is Kala's saying it, like, is the diminishing returns, right? When you go under 10 seconds, it's only a percentage of your cooldown reduction rather than full seconds.
Yeah, I've seen the equation, but like I mean it's still significant if you get if you get like -4, so that would be, I did the math. It's like, I don't know, but it is significant. I don't remember the numbers, but and then with the new KMS change to where you're going to get float instead of blink, I mean, I don't know, just 100% float time just seems like really cool. I mean, even if it's just like a weird flex. I mean, it's a weird flex I want to make one day.
I think it's... What is the percentage of cooldown again when it's under 10 seconds? Because the efficiency goes down by a lot once you're below 10 seconds. With the new blink and full iframe, you can get about a minute of airtime. Because you go up, fly, flame, fly again, blink, and then iframe for like, what, 30 seconds in the air? And then you can fly again, then flame again, then fly again. But then I don't think your blink is back. What is the blink cooldown? I know what they're changing that to.
I hope they're changing the name of blink because it's so unintuitive.
Yeah, they're... Didn't look like they were, but probably would be a good idea to do so. Wait, isn't it supposed to be here?
I am in the Hoyoung Discord. Well, I'm in the Reboot Central one. I'm not in the. I don't think I'm in the prestigious one.
Yeah, because that one is like privated and shit, right?
Yeah. But I don't know. Somebody said something about like 210. I'm like, I'm 251, and does that count?
DM Gauge on Central to get an invite to that one.
Okay.
You think it still blinks if you don't key down? I don't know.
Is Gauge on Scardor's Discord group?
I'm not sure who they are, but I guess they're definitely on Reboot Central, Kala says.
Oh, okay, I see it now on Central. I had to like minimize it for a second. I couldn't see the.
Oh yeah.
Oh hey, can I like? I see how your name is spelled, like your IRL name. How do you pronounce that?
Mine?
I've never seen you like say it. Yeah.
Doa.
Doa. Okay. Well, I was way off because I didn't want to like say it on accident, so I was just like,
yeah,
don't say it because, I mean, to like an American, it kind of looks like Dewey, but.
Yeah, I think that name does exist, but it's spelled quite a bit differently.
Yeah. Doa. Okay.
All the EU cucks are gonna pep off because they all know 3 languages, so they all know it's pronounced differently. Hoyoung, yes. All right, so let's make sure that we get you the help that you need in the time that you have, okay? Because we just went through like a third of the time, and I don't think we got through a third of the of the
Sure,
stuff
okay.
we need to go through. So make sure you
Fun
get
hanging out, though.
your
But
value. Yeah. I know you're good, but I do want to get through everything, and then I go like super long, which hurts the stream a bit. Okay. So yeah, Legion setups, we went through that. Legion characters seem like you're just doing your own thing. I'm not gonna like interfere with any of that. As long as you're like slowly but surely working up. You will just notice if you hit 8K, it's really satisfying because you get to put way more characters on the board, right? 7.5 to 8 is an extra 5 characters. So that's why 8K is out there as a eventual goal.
oh yeah, it's in, got my sights on it.
It's in the works, yeah. The other thing that you could be working on is that you want to. I'm sorry, I have to fucking time someone out. What is it? Is it that? I don't even know if that's it. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Whatever. Message me later. If you can't control yourself. Especially when I have the audio this high because his microphone is low. It's super fucking loud. It just completely throws me off. It's really fucking annoying. Okay, what was I talking about? Legion stuff. Leveling. Yeah, the 8K. Filling out the grid. Yeah, it's just important, but you know that. Okay. When it comes to links, yeah, the close call, like, it can work. Of course, it's not as reliable to help you. So if you're mainly doing bosses where, if you're either getting carried or something, then you just go more for the utility, make sure that you survive, right?
Yeah.
But if you're the one who needs to be doing all the damage, you have to be a little bit more, well, a little bit more min-maxy, I guess, is what it comes down to make sure that you can do everything. You could be the one who puts in all the damage. And there's definitely a few links that will eventually, for that reason, get replaced. The Rin's Blessing will probably get replaced, right? Because the 10% ID in the grand scheme of things isn't, loses a lot of its efficiency once you get enough ID from other sources. Close call, obviously you can use it if the boss is... So there's like 3 stages, right? In the beginning, you want all the survivability because you want to be able to, practice the boss. Then when you know the boss, you want all the damage so you can just kill it fast. And then when you know you can kill a boss super fast regardless of what you put in, you want to get the survivability again so you don't get taken off guard by any weird shenanigans, right? So that's kind of like the transition of like what link skills you go for. Elementalism is a good one, but like eventually can get overpowered as well. And then hybrid logic tends to get overpowered as you get to higher tiers of potential. Like right now, where you're at, you did already correctly identify you're a bit lower on the stat end, which means that something like hybrid logic proportionally will give you a lot of damage. But once all the potentials and once all of the stat is at the level where you want it to be, hybrid logic is going to lose efficiency there, and then other link skills might come in to take its place. So other link skills that might take its place would be things like... where is it? Link skills I always have to double check, but you have Fury. Like if you're bossing in a party, like Noble Fire is really good, the Adele link skill. There's the terms and conditions, right? Because you're a very burst heavy character.
True. It's another key though, so it's like I gotta get used to that.
Yeah, and you already have quite a lot of keys, so that is definitely something to add. It's something to slowly ease into, once you get more and more confident with piece of the content. That would be Judgment, the Kinesis link.
I don't have that equipped.
Well, not in this picture at least, but if you have it then and you know about it, then that's fine.
Yeah, but yeah, I do have one.
Oh, you do have... Oh, yeah, there you go. Okay, I missed that one, my bad. Some of these icons look very similar, okay. You have the Wild Rage, yeah. You have the, I believe you have the Light Wash, yeah, if I remember correctly.
You have 2 DAs.
Yeah, I made a new one for Project Zero because it's a little bit scuffed if I'm
Oh,
rolling
sure.
in with my 252 and being like, hey, look how easy it is to kill CRA, guys. And I
Yeah.
I think I'll get some weird responses to those videos. Probably rightfully so. And there's,
I don't
of
know how many
course... Sorry?
I was just gonna say I don't know how many compliments you get on that series, but like I've been really enjoying that series, the Project Sierra.
Yeah, but enjoy making it. I like it gets views and it gets some comments. I don't feel like there's a huge outpouring of people being like, "Oh my god, this is so amazing," but it's mostly like, "Oh, I'm glad there's finally some content for that class I play that nobody else plays." Like so far, like you got a few Blaze Wizards that are like, "Yay, Blaze Wizard!" You know, like that was a thing.
You're just filling every niche.
Yeah, that. But I just hope that, anyone who plays any class who's like kind of stuck can look at it and be like, oh, I didn't try that yet, or like, oh, this is something that can help me out. It's more something that I don't really expect like instantly to get like, oh wow, this is so crazy, but more over time that it being out there will help a lot of people over time is more the goal. I think that like a year from now, people will still be finding the video and getting help from it.
Actually, your Hoyoung one like really helped me because like when you're just like, damn, just use only half your burst, that's fine, and it's totally fine.
Yeah, because I failed Clown twice trying to set everything up, and then he would
Yeah,
just like start moving around again, or I would miss a bunch of stuff, and then I would fail, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do less and do that well, and then see how that goes, and then that was enough to destroy him. Yeah.
yeah. No, I've been in like 100% the exact situation, and then just watching that a couple times, it was really helpful.
Yeah, if I would main the class, of course, I'd do it more, and then eventually, hopefully, get to the point where I could pull it off completely. Just like with the Evan that I did recently also, I tried to... Yeah, I tried the Divine Radiance skill, and it's like, I'm not... Because you can kind of compare it to the Hoyoung, like say that the Divine Radiance skill is basically that you, like, summon those big champs, and basically you have to rotate through all of your skills to make sure that the final explosion happens. You have to kind of, like, you can kind of compare it to that. But I saw like, okay, there's not enough time. The boss is going to be moving around. You have to angle the skill. Like you can't. It's not just like a wild full map attack. So there's like an area of effect thing into issue. If I get sealed, all of the damage goes away. Like I'm gonna use this on Pierre. When I'm trying to figure out the class. Like it's just too much. So I'll just. I know it's a big. It could be a big chunk of damage, but I'd rather go for the security of the damage and take it a little bit slower, and then just do that instead. Because yeah, sometimes you gotta learn to walk before you can run, and but yeah, I have all the faith that people who actually main the class have more time to perfect their crafts will be able to do everything that I can do with these characters way better. So that'll also give you way more efficiency on the damage. I guess the last thing would be like when you're bossing, if you do need partial crit, you can definitely throw some more crit rate into the hyperstats, right? But the other thing that would be possible as well is to throw the Beast Tamer link in.
Yeah, I gotta level it, and it's like
Yep.
it's kind of not a priority because
Mhm.
it's like it's non-KMS, and it just kind of irks me.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean it has utility, so I'll probably do that eventually. Just my personal like take on it is like low priority. But yeah, I understand that I'm missing out by not having it.
Mhm. So it's like low level. You mean it's like 60 something or?
Well, no, like right now it's just level 1, but it's like
Okay.
in the list of like things I have to do for my account, it's just
Mhm.
like leveling up a non-KMS class. I don't know.
You have bad
I wonder
experiences with
like
that, or?
no, it's like okay, so I have like this just weird idea of like how like I want to experience Maple. And
Mhm.
I was watching this show where it's like this Netflix show, and this chick's like she wants to be like the best like chess master. It's called Queen's Gambit, and then
I heard
she's
about
like,
it.
well,
Yeah.
if you want to be if you want to be the best, you got to fight the best. So you got to go to Russia. So
Mhm.
I'm just like, well, if I want to like get really good one day and like compare myself to like the best players, or the best players statistically likely to be, probably likely to be in Korea.
Mhm.
So I kind of like the uh like the I kind of want like I don't know. I just want to feel like a KMS player, but to my own detriment a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the shorthand is like to compare yourself to other people in GMS first, right? And those people are gonna have the link skills and have the
Yeah.
KMS stuff helping them. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, okay, the main reason we can compare to KMS because they have like 12 ping and we have 200. So, or even
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
100 if you're in the US. So that
Yeah.
already
So maybe
that
some
holds you back a
GMS
lot.
crutches are
Yeah,
warranted.
sadly. But yeah, yeah. Well, regardless of like how you want to approach that, just putting it out there that that's possible. Whether you want to do that or not, it's up to you. But that could be a link that it could be useful, especially when the event link goes by, because just switching it out with the Phantom might be too much crit, and then I guess at this point, if you have too much crit, you can always move some critical damage, critical rate into critical damage, right?
Yeah.
So it's not the end of the world, yeah.
I got a couple of slots there.
Yeah. Yeah, and then if everything fills, you can just start on boss damage. So there's plenty of room to grow for the pieces there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just my my advice, like link skill wise, because I think IED, from what I saw, you were fine. Do you have familiars with IED?
I have no familiars. There's no familiars in Celas. And like I hit Celas before they changed Asphera, so I missed out. So I don't have any spider familiars either. But yeah, that's I mean, I guess my next step is maybe I should just jump to lab. Just get like 5k more stat and just jump into lab, and then or maybe notestones will do it because my skill levels are actually pretty low. Because I dumped like all my spares into 0 because I want to do tornado farming ASAP.
From what I heard from Hoyoung is that it's like great in Moonbridge.
Yeah, VC3. Yeah. I've looked around. I've like played around. It does like feel pretty good. Yeah. So and then yeah, I can get the those familiars too. You're right. You don't think lab's like the place to go with like the burning?
So
VC3 is never gonna burn.
Yeah, VC3 is never gonna burn. Yeah. It's purely a matter of map layouts. The problem is finding a VC3 map. You're gonna have to play at certain hours, or like I don't know if your guild has like hookups or something for maps, but yeah, or like add some people to the buddy list who are in VC3 so you can like hit each other up when you're leaving a map and when you're going into a map or something. But it is
They
tricky.
definitely do call outs, but I don't want to like sit around waiting to train for a call out.
No, exactly. But it is huge. It is really great. Wait, you have 2 slots left? Oh shit. Wait.
I haven't needed them, so they're just kind of there.
Well, you can always use Sharp Ice. It gives you critical damage too.
That's true, but it's a key issue.
It's another key, yeah. Well, Hoyoung, once you get past 250, you need the second keyboard. You know that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could show you my keyboard. I actually have a split keyboard, and like I thought that would be enough, and it's like still not enough, man.
Does it have like enough? Does it have enough buttons?
Yeah, so like instead of HJKL, like it's like my arrow keys are there, and it's split, so like I can keep my my hands like shoulder width apart, and it looks really cool. If you ever like want to look it up one day, it's called the Ergo Docs. But yeah, I mean, like it's really good for everything Maple. It just Maple just does not give you like layered keys. That's all I need. Unless I want to take potions off of my quick bar, but that's it's kind of dangerous when like you're in a cooldown boss.
Wait, those are the arrow key. Wait, hang on.
Are you looking at it?
The fuck is this? Is this the future? Is this how you're gaming?
That's how I've been gaming for a while. But yeah, no, yeah, that's it. So that's what's on my desk. It comes with software. So like on the gray keys on the right side, I switch those to arrow keys.
Okay.
So I don't know if you're like if you know much about Linux, but like a big Linux like text editor is called Vim, and it's just like in the Vim style of like arrow key layouts, because like you navigate with HJKL.
Okay. That is quite different.
Yeah, jump on space, of course.
Well, there is no space, okay? There's an open space where your space should be, alright? This is an issue. What are those, the big buttons on the side? Are those supposed to be your space bars?
Like, if you put your left hand on the left keyboard, like where your thumb sits, that's my spacebar.
Right. I was gonna put my right hand on the left side just to make it a little bit more complicated. I would do like cross-handed it. Because I think, Linux, sky's the limit, so they want your thumbs to
Yeah.
be on the outside. And the armrests are just for show because your hands are like floating. Okay, well this is new for me.
I definitely recommend it to Hoyoung mains. It's a good time.
There you go, Kala. You got a new keyboard set up to all worked out for you. So it's all, yeah, that's why it's all unlabeled, because it's all, you have to reprogram everything.
Yeah, it comes with software. I mean, you could do it manually in firmware, but like not a lot of people are like savvy enough to do that. I'm a computer science student, so like I just kind of, natural.
Yeah. It's all part of the process, figuring out which, you have more freedoms there. You know, like a normie like me who just, gets Windows and then has everything done for me. Oh, wow. Ergo Ducks easy. Easy clap. All right. Okay. But I would say like Sharp Ice is some good shit. Especially once you lose that crit from the event buff as well, right? And the crit damage is just good overall, especially for bossing also. Critical damage, one of the good multipliers. And I'm pretty sure you want speed infusion, right, Kala? To hit attack speed cap with green.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Like all my Monster Park things, they've just all been going to my Legion for the last like forever. So I have no green bots. I mean, it's basically like if I want a green pot, I got to do Monster Park on my main for like 2 runs, get some green pots, and then go do it. And I just haven't been because it's kind of like a hassle and doesn't really improve my rates. So, but yeah, bossing, it's definitely I should definitely consider that.
Yeah. Yeah, I would get the speed infusion and the sharp eyes out. But again, like everything at the same time is too much. But you have the time now, right, to like slowly weave it into your muscle memory, and then once it's in there, then you're fine. And then you don't, you just glance over, you see if the skill is off cooldown, or you see if the skill is blinking, and then you'll just automatically be pressing the buttons, and it doesn't really matter. But yeah, that is a thing with Hoyoung. You have a lot of buttons. The thing is though, that's mainly when you're bossing to maintain everything. But when you're mobbing, you'll get to a point where you're basically using like 3 skills and that's it. And then the mobbing will get a lot simpler. There's some areas in Limina where people train that you only do buffs and you do 1 skill from 1 position of the map and you just hold it down. And then everything just kind of dies because of the butterflies and the clones.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine it. I don't know what it's like yet, but one day.
One day, yeah. Yeah, when it comes to Monster Park, are you using the Monster Park runs on the mules as well, or just the potions?
I mean, when I'm just like bashing my face against the wall to get something, in the 190s, like I use all my runs, but like when I'm doing like a Legion, I get them totally decked out, green pot, red pot, gold pot, just give them the works, I just want to get it over with, especially with some of those classes, like dual blade. Ugh. Sorry, dual blades, but like, not a good time.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, it comes down to like the fundamentals. I think is just doing Monster Park every day, on any character, and then open up the boxes. I think is just necessary, especially if you're working on that many things. You always want to have them available. Yeah, I don't put as many of the hours into it, so I have like a huge backlog of the potions. But you want to maximize your access to those for sure.
I do have the medal though, so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good.
While we're on the subject, so on one of your videos, you mentioned something about like saving the boxes and like trying to get the badge, and then somebody commented on the video, but like it was never responded to, and I kept scrubbing through the video like trying to see if like you mentioned something like they're gonna buff the rates of it or something, but like I couldn't like find any confirmation of it. Are they?
Yeah, there was something in KMS where they were gonna buff the chances, of getting them, but I'm not sure if that's in a. Did KMS already release that, or is that something that was like in the player conference comments that they wanted to increase that? Because there's so much like different stuff coming out of KMS, it's like hard to say. Oh yeah, is that like a month away? Is it like 6 months away? Is it? 'Cause usually I keep like the Sunday boxes closed, right? because I can still use them later for experience coupons if I want to. Unless I
Yeah,
really need
those
to
I
open them.
always run.
Mm-hmm.
I always do Sunday on my main. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's mainly just for the people who want to like min-max to get that. It's not like it's a crazy, it's more for people who are either achievement hunting or something like that, or hyper min-maxers for like a little bit more stat, because it's not like a crazy good badge or anything. It's like 1 or 2 step. Is that 2 step more? Yeah, so it's not that massive.
But even with the isn't it 3 lines of 15% IED?
So that's only if you have all of them.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like
Yeah.
I was like debating whether like, oh, maybe I should go for it one day.
They would have
But
to
I mean,
buff by. So I've done Monster Park on my account, I believe 5,500 times. And opened most of those boxes, and I think I just got my 3rd one recently in total.
so it's dead. Okay.
So I think if they buff the rates by like 100x, then maybe you can do that in like a year on one character. But I don't think that like the full set and the combinations ever something to aspire to. I think it's more going to be like for a non-reboot to make it a little bit more reliable, and maybe for achievement hunting if you do it on a lot of characters and stuff like that. But
Okay.
I don't see them becoming any like huge part of the meta or anything like that. No.
Okay. So it's still a Black Mage badge one day.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would use the decent skills. I think that would be a good buff for you. And for Monster Park, what I usually do is just do the Night Stronghold, because it's really fast, and just blow through that one every day. And don't do like the high level ones. Even though it is more experience, you also, I think, disproportionately spend more time. And to make it like a faster daily that you make sure that you do every day and that you get through, I just do the fastest one. I think that's a good idea.
You don't like Ruined City? I love Ruined City, man, because it's the first one on the list, and it's fast for me for whatever. It just feels faster. I haven't actually clocked it, but
Or like the very fast. Well, I mean, if you could do it in under a minute, then do whatever one you want to do. But like around 1 minute, it should be like the fast runs.
okay.
Yeah, as long as you get a fast one done, then you're good. Okay, so the main focus for you right now, so like the long term and getting stronger and everything. So was your goal to just aim for? Well, okay, hang on. Familiars, right? We didn't talk about those yet. What do you do with familiars these days? Like, what's your strategy there?
Well, I mean, I get so few of them. I pretty much
Yeah.
only get them during dailies, and like I'm not gonna have 1,000 of that one kind, so I've just been extracting
Right. Okay.
until Moonbridge, and then I'm gonna get serious about it.
Do you reveal them first and then extract them, or just extract straight up?
No, I've just been extracting.
Okay.
To be honest.
Yeah, well,
I guess
because the
that's
IED is nice early on, and that will also, because we want to get you off of that that zero link, and having a little bit of IED in your familiars will help you do that more easily. That and the healing familiar would also be nice to help yourself and your teammates during those will runs as well. It will help your survivability.
Yeah.
So anything you can get there, even if it's not epic or unique yet, would still be useful. But yeah, if you are gonna be training in area, because like the reason I didn't say like go to lab, because I don't know if there are any lab maps that are comparable. Because I think even a lab map with high level burn versus a VC3 with no burn, I think you still want to do VC3 because it's easier to loot.
Okay. Oh, and that's another thing that I wanted to mention. Like, I want to separate my farming just so like I can roll out of my meso gear and then roll into like stat gear or like drop gear to get stones and stuff like that, and just do all my meso farming on zero, because I don't know. I hate rolling over stuff, and I want to like have one farmer, one main. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna get like extra stuff like when I'm training and stuff, which is nice. But right now, I want to. I think rolling out of my meso gear into damage gear for my main, and then just putting all of that responsibility onto zero. Do you think that's a good step? Because that was kind of where I was leaning.
Yeah, well, my thing is, and the main reason I do it on my main characters is because eventually I feel like the characters get strong enough to be able to kill properly, even with meso and drop gear, and then you can just go have a full meso and drop set equipped without losing any kind of kill potential, and then basically make a decent amount of money while you're also making full EXP. The thing is, of course, like depending on, you will kind of be restricted to where you go because you want to be able to like loot all of that juicy loot on the map. And if you're more focused on just the damage and everything, and you're more doing just efficient rotations to kill more monsters, that will be more efficient for the EXP. And then, of course, if you are purely in damage gear and you're not in dropper gear, then there's not that much money, going to waste either. But then again, the question is like, since you're overlapping in totems, is like, what is the opportunity cost, right? Like, how much are you letting go to waste versus how much are you gaining for it, and are you okay with that trade? It's always going to come down to that.
Yeah, I really think I would enjoy it more if I just optimized for experience instead of like stuck at like lootable maps. Because I train at PD1 and I've been at PD1 since 245, and like it's good, you know, and like my rates are, they're not great, but like you know, I'm making like 600 mil an hour, you know, so like, you know, 1.1, 1.2 per totem in meso, and like it's comfortable, but like I really just want to spread out, you know. I really want to play with like my other skills. I really don't want to like have to walk into a map like, okay, these platforms suck. I kind of just want to like go in there and just like rage, you know.
Yeah, I get it.
And
You don't have to worry about looting when you're grinding, and then not have to worry about the EXP necessarily when you're farming. Yeah, if that's like that space you want to be in, then that can definitely work.
I think I just enjoy it more.
Yeah. Yeah, also, like Aquafina said in the chat, like it'll depend on what kind of content you want to eventually do, because you're going to spend a lot of time training. The further you want to go, of course, and yeah, it'll also depend on, well, the main reason why people have it separated and get the kanas, of course, is the flexibility of the hours, right? You could just do half an hour if you want to somewhere, you can do 45 minutes, and then bounce, and you don't have to dedicate a whole totem. That's usually why the kana gets so much value. And if you're going to do a farmer that does rely on the totem spawn as well, you don't get that as like added value in your account, I guess.
But I mean, like keeping track of like Hoyoung's buff, you know, and the in like the gauge cycles and stuff like that. Like it's fun, but I don't like when I want to play for like say 6 hours some days. You know, it's like say it's the weekend, I'm just gonna go hard. It's gonna be like a 6-7 hour like session. You know, I don't want to train like that for like 6 hours. You know, so like I know it's gonna like slow down my rates, but you know, like but like the tornado farming, man, I mean, I could probably do that all day. We're just watching podcasts on the side. So
yeah, like I said, like in the beginning, right? Like if there's an event coming up and you're like, okay, I want to make a bunch of money, then you just go hard and you just farm a bunch. And if it's more like, okay, I'm just chilling, or there's a nice event and want to just progress on the main, then you just do training sessions on the main. That makes sense. But I think we can get your yeah, so aside from a little bit of ID and a little bit of healing and familiars right now, I guess it's whatever. But I would definitely look into like the Hoyoung discords, right, and like check like what maps in like if I'm going for fully EXP and I don't care about looting and stuff, like what are there any maps in Labyrinth that are good? Definitely go check them out yourself as well, right? Just look which maps have potential, and maybe like try them out a little bit and see if you can get some rotations going. I know it's like the holy grail is like being strong enough at being able to go to Limina and then just like hold down one button and train, and then you're basically farming on the Hoyoung as well. It's even like more simple than the tornado thing.
Sure.
I don't know if you've seen that. I think there's a video of it, but
like I don't mind sitting at my computer all day and like just having half like my my attention split, you know. So like I've seen some of the limited training methods, you know, but then you gotta like do all the platforms and stuff like that. But maybe when I get there, I'll.
The computer science guy who doesn't care about sitting on his computer all day. It's something you don't hear every day.
I've always been like a computer guy. Outdoor, sunlight.
I think it's this. Hey, Colin, is this your video? No, this is 1.4. Well, I mean, this one is obviously. You just put up the big summons, so that kills everything. Where's the other map where you just like sit on the right side? Okay, that's kind of what you do here, I guess. And then you just have the vortex on the left side killing everything. You're just on the right side killing everything. And then when you have your tiger, then you go loot, right? Because that way you don't really lose any potential. And at this point, like if you have the arcane power and you have the boost nodes and everything, then even with full drop in Mezzo gear, you'll have no problem killing this quickly. And then yeah, then you're just essentially for a while you're able to do training and farming together. But the main thing comes when you want to move out of this area, and then you have to go in like full damage gear. The rates in general is going to be like 200 mil an hour or something is what you're going to be making when you move to like Cernium and stuff. And then having a farming character on the back end where you can make a lot of money to like, yeah, to settle into like full arcane set and everything, because that's going to be mighty expensive. Yeah, that could definitely help you out.
I've definitely seen some of the Cernium rotations. I saw Crane train for like 10 minutes once, and
yeah, Crane is
like I have a rough idea of like what's down the line.
Okay, so I guess we can look at the stuff on. So do you feel comfortable with where the zero's at right now? So you got the 0 to 220, right?
Yeah.
So are you going to do the thing where you do the 0 basically just to like a limited amount of funding so that you know he can kill, and then that's going to be what do you have, 7 boost nodes? Is that necessary?
Well, it was necessary to max tornadoes that early.
Right. And then the only thing you do is like add, what is it, holy symbol?
Yeah.
For drop rate. And then sharp eyes, I guess, because one of your forms has like low crit, right?
Yeah, beta has low crit, so I'll probably pop some locks at like 225, but I got some time because I'm not even in Arcana yet.
Yeah, exactly. But you kind of know like what number you're looking for, like how much arcane power, how much damage, that kind of stuff. Are you going to keep doing dailies to go beyond and go to the higher level areas, or are you going to like slow it down a little bit at that point?
Yeah, so 0 is eventually going to be my alt, just because more MapleStory, why not?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I enjoy the play style, so having another high level character to like learn bosses on it, it's fun.
Okay, yeah.
So,
and you'll learn a little bit more the support side as well with that character.
Yeah, it's like it's definitely a different role. The 3 binds, that's crazy.
Yeah. It was even more crazy when we had Yorozu, and then you could reset Yorozu in extra time as well.
Yeah, I saw a video where 0 had like a 50+ second bind on Will. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's pretty nutty if you got all of it up. And you get the chance to skip cooldown helps as well. If you get that one later for the support capability of it, it's pretty nuts.
Yeah, I still got to roll my Meso for now, and that's gonna, but.
And you know how it works with the weapon and everything if you want to commit to that? When to flame
so
it,
I need to 21 it now, which is, so like Oyo, I'm not going to roll out of, or sorry, they don't know my character's IGN. My Hoyoung, I'm not going to roll out of Meso until I saved like 25-ish bill, you think, for a 21? No, more?
Sorry, what are you directly referring to? Like how much money before you move?
No, to get 0's weapon to 21 for tornado farming.
Just to switch it into Abzo?
No. Okay, so like my Hoyoung fan, I haven't really needed the damage, but like I'm gonna switch him to Abzo pretty quickly. I'm just saving up Damien cores. But like my 0, I thought you were referring to like you need to upgrade your 0 weapon to 22 before you put an arcane on it. And like I was gonna use my droplets on 0 because I know I need to be like dumb strong at 225 to like actually farm effectively. So
right. Okay, so that's okay. So you were prioritizing like high star. You're gonna do high star Abzo on the Hoyoung and go do like low star arcane on the 0.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that could definitely work. Yeah, so you're aiming for like what, to like 21 Fafnir into 20 Abzo, something like that on the Hoyoung.
No, yeah, I'm just like I have my fan at 16. I'm going to transfer and get a 15-star Abso, and then I'm going to get Abso to 17.
Okay, yeah, you can
But
stick
no,
with it.
but no, I was just thinking about like just spending like a week or two just farming, saving up like 20 bill, and just get like my zero online like really quick like that. And I know
Mm-hmm.
like my Hoyoung could like use the damage too, but yeah, I don't know. I can't farm on Hoyoung for 8 hours straight. I just can't do it.
Well, no one says you have to do 8 hours straight, of course, but
But
if that's how you play, then you have to fit find a character that fits that playstyle. These are all droplets you have, 110. Do you have any more that you can buy at this point?
yeah, I can just I could just farm up like the 4.5 bill and just buy out the store if I wanted to.
Right. Okay. And then you're
Yeah,
really close to getting the weapon,
yeah,
right?
yeah. But like
Well, you
I
need.
don't save. I just kind of like just farm what I need and then just buy it.
Yeah, but you still need the lucid clears on the dude, right? On the
Yeah,
zero.
he has two butterflies right now.
Yeah,
So
two. Yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to like preemptively, like line all everything up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing that I'm considering is that if you get the arcane weapon on your Hoyoung, and in the time that you get enough lucid droplets, can you make enough again to also get the arcane weapon on your? Because you need enough time to get the lucid droplets, plus you need enough time to make enough money to get to like whatever Star Force you want to get before you turn it into arcane as well. So do you think that's
On
going to be
zeros,
enough time to get both of them to arcane instead, and just in that way like skip the Abso weapon on your Hoyoung? That's an option, right?
yeah. I don't think I'm gonna be able to accomplish both. But I mean, I'm also hoping for drops. So maybe
Yeah,
if I stop dying at
always,
hard will, one day.
always open for drops. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is another part of like my rationale for just keeping Hoyoung at Abso.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's your right, of course. So 5, 10, 15, you've got some Absol work cut out for you.
Yeah, I didn't need the damage, and I'm just like 5, 10, 15 is like way more efficient, so I just kept him at 17. I mean, 15.
Yeah. Yeah, the main thing is going to be definitely Hoyoung carries itself very easily. The main thing is going to be once you go to those higher level areas. Right now, you're kind of being blocked by not having enough arcane power, right? But once you do have the arcane power, and you want to move over there, I guess even up to Limina, you'll probably be fine with pretty quote-unquote weak gear. But if you ever want to get out of Limina, you want to go into Cernium, your gear is going to have to be like an order of magnitude higher. But, I mean, we could be talking about like a while from now.
Yeah, I'm thinking like 8 months or so,
Yeah.
Like I don't plan on doing this tomorrow or nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know about the winter shop, right? All of the
Yeah,
droplets coming there.
you said 900, right?
Yeah, 100,
Yeah.
100 event currency and 800 meso. So that would be the time where you're like, okay, I have enough will and lucid droplets. I've got like a fuck ton of money saved up, and now we can make like huge switch into arcane set. Hopefully you have. So the main thing you want to work on in the meantime, besides just like if you are farming on the zero or like just training and doing dailies on the Hoyoung, is also make sure that you keep all of the dailies and the weeklies going. That will give you backups that you require to get to where you want to go, right? So one of the most important things you can do on your Hoyoung right now is make sure you do like normal arc every day, make sure you do Princess No every week, and make sure that you get Helix done every single day. Those are like your top priorities.
Yeah, I got to start doing Helix.
Yeah, it's really, really important. Helix is like those pieces. Those are basically what's gatekeeping you from being like a damage dealer or kind of like just being there. It's just a huge set bonus. It's very important.
Yeah, before I could do CRA by myself, I did the whole Meister set because I'm just like, oh, 40 attack, why not?
Mm-hmm.
And it beats the hell out of the Magnus shoulders. I was like, I just went for it,
Yeah.
and I've just had it ever since.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't like advise people to make it because typically the resources, by the time you get the resources, for a lot of people, the set already wasn't really that necessary anymore. But with Helix being pushed back that much, it's not horrible. And if your character has like a good kit in itself, it can definitely help you out. I have one character with a Meister set because that's a DA because you also get extra HP percentage, right? So it kind of like double dips with that as well. But yeah, at this stage of the game, like, you want to get that Abso set going, right? If you go for the weapon, then you also want to go for the shoulder because that's when you get your 30% boss set bonus. so that's huge. And then you roll out of the Meister set. But yeah, the Spear earrings should be taking the spot then of the Meister earrings, and then the belt coming in, switching that one up.
I also had a question. For the sake of skipping dailies,
Yeah.
I know that's a bad word, but I really don't like Commerci.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've done it. You know, I've gotten some Sweetwater drops. You know, I've done enough times to I know how it's gonna go, but I really don't like the whole setup. And I was wondering if the Thief Meister symbol, like the 20-star face,
Mm-hmm.
could work until a Berserked. Given, I mean, like RNG, of course, but you
Mm-hmm.
know, I mean, would that last me to through Lumina?
If you're gonna sit on, so yeah, that could. Yeah, you could go Beanmark and Meister symbol to 17.
I mean, I was thinking about pushing the Meister symbol to like to 20. You know, like eventually.
Well, you'll need to make like a bunch of backups then, right?
I do. I have
If
them.
they, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just getting bored
Yeah.
some days. You just go to Temple of Time, just mindlessly just bash them around, just play with your skills, and like I've just gotten a couple of drops like that, which gave me the idea.
Yeah, if you like truly hate Commerci, then just find a way not to have to do them. I prefer Commerci because like 20 is a little bit of a weird number to be at Starforce wise, because it's 20 is more risky than 19 to 20 is more risky than 20 to 21. So kind of like getting to 20 is basically like the same thing as like getting to 15 so you can go to 16 and 17. Like getting to 20 is kind of the thing that you have to do to get to 21 and to 22. Whether you want to go all the way to 22 is like super risky, but like 21, you know, is quote unquote kind of free once you get to 20. It's still a risk, of course, but it's not as risky as getting from 19 to 20. So you can't do that. I would definitely say yes if the chance for Berserked and eye patch was actually real. But it's not like. But I mean, most other people would just stick to an like a tattoo that's 21, and then you're just like one Starforce off. So it's not like a huge difference there. So how different is it really? If you want to do this because you just don't want to do Commerci, like eventually you're gonna have to do Commerci, right? Because you want to get pendants, you want to transpose pendants. If those blow up, you're gonna have to get backups for pendants. So I think eventually you'll have to Commerci anyway. I think you're okay getting a Black Bee mark and a Meister symbol to 17, but I would build up my Dreadnought in Commerci so that you can do the short dailies. And I think once you're at that point, you'll probably feel that the dailies are not that bad at all anymore. You know how about like leveling your boat and stuff? How that works?
Yeah, I actually messed up. I mean, like the whole reason that well, not the whole reason, but one of the reasons I stopped Commerci for a while is because I used up all my dineros to like level up my boat.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could never find a party, so like I couldn't get back because you have to spend dineros to make dineros. And then I'm just like, and not doing it for like a week or two. I was just I just really don't like this content.
Did you do the stimulus?
Yeah, I mean, I saw that it was a thing, but I was like, I was having flashbacks of like Afterlands, because like if you click the wrong thing, like in the wrong part of the game, I've heard horror stories, and I'm just like, oh yeah, maybe this is one of those things. Yeah, so I didn't want to I just didn't want to mess with it.
There's a one-time stimulus thing where if you talk to the NPC, you can get a little bit of extra dineros if you run out. So you could always do that. It gives you a little bit, but yeah. Other than that, look for CPQ. You can always use my Twitch chat when it's live, or check with a guild or to do a guild PU to get you started back up. Because once you do have the Dreadnought, you can do your dailies like in less time than you do Monster Park every day, and you'll get like I think like 48 dineros per day or something. So you can get like a backup per week once you get to that point. And it is kind of a drag to build up to the Dreadnought for sure, but once you have it, you're like setting up your account for success, because you know when you're transposing, it's 10 dineros every time, and that could that's 100 dineros a day if you fail a bunch of times, and that could take a few days, so that's already like a few hundred out the window easily. And then the pendant itself I think is 300 or 350, so if you need a few backups of those, then you immediately need like over 1,000. So you do want to build up a bank over time to get beyond. And yeah, to be able to also reach the, like if you get these to 17 and you actually do get like a drop, the problem is also like how far you're gonna take to drop. Are you gonna take like a 17-star drop, or like how far would you push that one, right? Because what is the chance that you get a Berserker or an eye patch, and then if you do get one, like what is the chance you ever get a backup? So how far are you really gonna push it? But if you have a 20 or 21, like accessory on the back end, then you can push harder on the pitch boss item without feeling that you need to settle. And like going up to 21 and like with the tattoo and everything, I feel like that sets you up to be good enough to be able to do everything further in the game and also be able to train in those higher level regions, right? With that damage gear. Yeah, and it's the higher tier as well, the level 160. So more bonus stats on the Star Force plus the extra bonus lines on the potential. I like the extra 1% there. I think that adds up together. So I think you could use these as 17 for now, but I would eventually work on the Dreadnought and build up towards the tattoo and the monocle.
Okay.
But yeah, that's got to be the main thing, like finding where you build up the backups, right? So Helix, super important, getting that one down. If you have trouble with that, also I would ask like specifically Hoyoung's, like do you have some tips on, where to stand, what to do, what to move, when to up jump, when to fly.
Yeah, I saw you cover it on another Hoyoung video.
Mm-hmm.
You like opened up the YouTube video and like I remember that one.
Yeah, for some classes there are just some tips and tricks, some things you can do that make it a lot easier. And people are figuring stuff out all the time, so. Yeah, so you're in full drop a meso set now, so you're going to need backups to move away from that, right? Probably more primals, more kind of treasure rings, right? So Princess Snow, very important. And then, of course, you need the Helix coins to get the superior and the reinforced in there.
Yeah.
But you have enough extra rings, so you don't need to worry about that from the shop. When it comes to your WSE, obviously, like the weapon, we're not going to talk about too much, right? Because you're replacing that one. The emblem can definitely gain a lot of damage just by going for full attack. I would say full attack, but like at least two lines of attack, like 21%. That would be way better than what you have now.
I just haven't been rolling it, man. I've been trying. Trust me. I just have not rolled it.
Nah, it's just as long as you're aware of the priority,
Yeah.
The weapon is okay. The secondary weapon is okay, but again, like if you can get that IED from the familiars instead, then you can also not immediately, but like a little bit sooner roll this, or you get a Princess Snow secondary and start working on that one on the side. It's also popular. That way you don't have to worry about losing these stats, and you start working on the secondary that eventually is going to overpower this one. You've done Princess Snow before?
Yeah, I run it. Well, it's a pre-quest issue right at the moment. But yeah, I've ran it on my with my previous paint. So yeah, kind of I know.
Yeah. Okay.
It's about it. Yeah.
It's really fun, yeah. All the lines and the teleporting with the pink whale and super fun times.
Super fun time.
Okay. Latest stuff. Well, I mean, I don't have to close that. I guess for the Zero specifically, do you have any questions on what you need to work on there? Because it seems like you're... Yeah, we talked about the weapon.
I watch a lot of your progressions, so like I got like a little idea, but I don't understand how flame score works and everything. But like how much is flame weighted versus like versus potential versus like Star Force? Because I know like roughly what to do for each one of them. I just don't know like the order, So I've just kind of just been like picking something that like is like decent, and then I check the calculator. I'm like, oh well, if that's like a 1 in 50 chance, like I don't want to re-roll that, and I'm not really trying to like min-max. I just kind of just taking what I get with just casual RNG drops and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, the order is always a little bit tricky because there's stuff that upsets the orders, right? We have star forcing events, and sometimes we have cubing sales or DMTs, but we never have a flame sale. And flame access is technically always there because it's in the shop and it's right there. But like you said, you know, if it's like a 1 in 50, then how quickly do you want to start rolling over that? Because that means on average you have to spend more than 50 to roll it back, and then you're like immediately basically guaranteeing yourself a 500 mil expense. So the way that the order works technically is like kind of up to you, but it gets upset by events. So if you're, you know, if there's a star forcing event, if there's like a 30% off, then you're like, okay, let me look to boost things to 15. Like whether that's directly in the order or directly what you need, that is just like the most efficient way of getting to 15. So that will like take precedence over whether it's already, you know, whether it gets to take its turn in the order of upgrading, right? If there's a 5, 10, 15, then you want to bump stuff to 15 to 17, regardless of like whether that's it's that turn. I think like the objectively, like the ideal will probably be in the beginning to get like, okay, all of your stuff rare 3%, then Star Force to 10, maybe then Star Force up to like 10 or 12 depending on what item it is, then to epic, everything 6%. Then you start diversifying between types of items, so then you're like your weapon, secondary, and emblem, those get more important, so those will go to unique first. And then probably around the time where you start thinking of getting your weapon, secondary, and emblem maybe to legendary, that's probably also the time you start thinking about getting all of the stuff to like 15 stars. That's like roughly at the same point. And the reason that that's at the same point is because the type of content that you start killing starts requiring you to have your WSE at a higher rank. That same kind of content is what's going to give you the drops that are worth getting to 15 stars, basically. So that's like when you get the CRA stuff, right? Like if you get WSE to legendary, if you're like on your character itself, that like either unique with good lines or like a legendary, that's usually when you're working on killing like or having CRA killed or killing CRA and maybe going up to HMAG and stuff. So like that's when you get the CRA pieces, and that's when you start working on the Star Force a little bit more. And that's also when you slowly start working on prepping up for Abzo, so you try to get those pieces to 15 so you can transfer hammer them over during a 5, 10, 15 to get them into Abzo, right? Like what you're doing with the shoe.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like all connected there. And then once you are moving into those pieces, typically, if you are primarily trying to make money on the character that you're on, then you start working on the accessories, get those to legendary, and get your 5 lines of mezzo, 4 lines of drop. You get that whole setup done. And then the next step right after that is usually that you get the Abzo stuff. And then you start working on the flames more. Like slowly you're working on flames typically when you're bossing, but if your character is more making money, then you start working on the flames only when you have good items that you need to work on the flames on. It's typically going to be like the weapon. With 0 it's a little bit weird, right, because it's not flame advantage. And then the second after that is just like the flame advantage stuff at the highest level, so like Abzo, then CRA, then your cup, and then probably your boss accessory pieces. And then, you know, the Tyrant Cape is kind of up there as well because it's 150 and it does have flame advantage. On a character like this, you might keep it longer unless you get a hookup and you have, you know, you can get carried and stuff for the pieces. Then you might go into the Abzo Cape quicker, and then the Tyrant Cape is just a placeholder. You know, if it has a good flame like this and maybe, you know, you roll it to 3 or 6% strength or whatever, it just stays there until you switch it with the Abzo Cape.
Oh, I'm actually gonna get my Abzo cape later today.
Yeah, well,
So
there you go.
that's why I haven't even like
Yeah.
opened the potential.
Yeah,
I
okay,
just hit
yeah.
the placeholder.
That explained that. Yeah, so, and then next step after that is usually bumping the epic stuff up all to unique, and bumping everything up to 17 stars. Like that's like roughly the same. So again, like if there's an event for one, then that gets precedent. Otherwise, you just do whatever you feel like doing at that point. And then the next step after that is getting legendary on the high level equips. So like the Abzo stuff first. The glove is high priority because of the critical damage, but you already know that, right, from the Hoyoung. And then the other Abzo pieces and the other level 160 pieces. And at that point, that's when you start looking at transposing a pendant. Hopefully you have some dominators by then. You start looking at switching into superior Gollux pieces because you've been doing Helix a bunch by then. And then once you have that whole switch going over, then all of the accessory pieces, boss accessory pieces get replaced. You get all of the Gollux pieces in, you get all of the Sweetwater pieces in, you get the full Abzo in, and then you work on getting everything 17 stars, everything legendary, and at least 2 lines of stat. and your WSE has 2 lines, right, on Legendary. Just everything at 2 line, and then with all of that, you should be able to kill everything, including Lotus and Damien, and you can start doing normal Lucid, basically. Does that whole order kind of make sense?
Yeah. I mean, when you upload this to YouTube, I'm gonna go over it a couple times.
Yeah.
I think I got it.
Yeah, so, yeah, if you have a character that has some other pieces, like the Hoyoung has, like, the Meister pieces, that might mean that some steps, you know, don't need to be taken as quickly. For example, like getting all the Helix pieces together. But that doesn't mean that you start doing the daily later, right? Because you do want to build up the coins, and you're going to take a while to get the drops and to be able to afford everything. So the fact that you have the pieces means you're, like, a little ahead. But if you rest on that too much and then don't start doing Helix at the time where you can, then you're going to get behind like where you're at right now, right? Because at 251, you would expect to have like the Superior Godlix pieces, depending on how quickly you're training. If you're like grinding it out super fast, you can definitely get there without having the pieces, you know, because you're just time gated very heavily. But you want to be able to kill Helix at this point, and that I don't know if you can at this point. Can you?
I can definitely duo it with the guy that I do Damien with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't tried to. Yeah, I should probably jump into a round, like just waste a day just seeing if I could do it. I guess it's worth like just.
Yeah, you only have 1 run a day. That's the problem. You don't have practice mode, and you just have 1 entry. So I would advise getting some buff freezers and maybe using your guild skills just to get it done quicker, and then do like the important dailies that would require you to have a lot of damage with the guild skills. You know, maybe like Lacaline daily that do the tower, so you can kill high floor, that kind of stuff, and get the important dailies and the important bosses out of the way with the guild skills. And definitely rely on those at this point.
You know, it's crazy. I've actually never thought of using guild skills to get like latch towers.
Oh yeah, like if you're gonna be so first you want to save up the points, right? So you can spam the bells.
Yeah, I'm at 3,000.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you have enough damage, just like guild skills, monster park buffs, just everything you can, and just try to climb to the next 10. Because as a Hoyoung, you can space out your burst quite a bit and your summons to make sure that you can climb, but you also can use everything at the same time to make sure that you can always clear the floor that you eventually get to. The only thing you have to make sure in between is that you just wait for all the important cooldowns to come back, and that you're, you know, you use your tonic outside one time to make sure that everything is topped off. So that when you go in, the tonic is ready, everything is completely maxed out, like your scroll, your talisman, everything is maxed. And then you go in, and usually what I would do, like just to min-max, like go in with the guild skills, blow through it quickly. And if you can do it super fast, maybe climb to the next 10 and just, you know, keep going. Because what floor are you clearing now? You're like...
You're gonna laugh.
I would guess 50, but...
Yeah, that's it, 50.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
think at
without
this...
guild skills or anything.
Yeah, but I think if you guild skill it and you... I think you can climb to 70 with this.
Just as is?
Well, the problem is also like they're count as boss, right? So if you do it with your boss setup, you're gonna have better success than if you're doing it with your mobbing setup. So if you're switching around a lot, at this point,
the Dream Keepers do they count as bosses?
Yeah, the boxes and the monsters inside count as bosses. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know.
Yep. Well, more you know. now you do. That's why the extra boss damage buff is also nice. So that is, well, another thing that you can do there, yeah.
Okay, so
okay, yeah. Yes.
Before we start like closing down, like there's a couple like questions that I wanted from like a perspective of somebody that like knows the whole game, in game, you know, late game, like done it all. So like the people you see, you know, just like henny hoeing around, you know, they got like all their gears and like set up. I mean, like what kind of lifestyle is required to accomplish something like that? Because I want to go really far in Maple, but like I feel like people minimize the amount of hours that they put in and just like, oh well, you know, strength is free, whatever. you know. But like I've never heard of somebody just like a straight like this is what I did for like 4 months straight to accomplish this, and now I'm here and like look at me. You know, like nobody like says it like that for me, and like I could really use that, just like a really good
Well,
perspective on
when you
like
say Heneho,
what.
there's like two major types, right? There's like the level 120, like completely decked out, decked out in NX, and there's those like level 275 people who are just sitting there who basically have like 55k stat that are just chilling in town. Are you referring to the second group?
Yeah, just the people that are just totally decked out.
Yeah, those people
And
kind of farm like crazy.
yeah.
Like they
Okay, so
probably like 2 years ago or something, they were probably buy station farming like nuts, made a bunch of money, invested it into another Kana, or leveled the Kana up after they got out of that stage to go farm in Arcana so they could make a bunch of droplets, and made like thousands of droplets maybe. And then with that, like funded their arcane gear, got high star force arcane. If they got more backups, they pushed it even harder. But it's like, yeah, like 80% of that is just like kind of farming, and then 20% of that is training on their main probably. And it's
so that's
probably a
like
few
four.
thousand hours, probably like 5,000-6,000 hours on each of those characters. Yeah,
Yeah, that's definitely insane. All right, cool.
that's
Yeah,
probably what that is. Because if it's not, then it's like extreme luck on the drop side, and they might have like 17-star and 18-star arcanes, which is, I mean, getting less and less crazy to get, right? With the access to droplets, you've noticed it as well. You can
yeah,
get to those bosses quicker, the bosses have more drop rate, there's more bosses, etc, etc. But a lot of it, I think, comes down to, what, like the, I mean, if you're talking about like the motivation behind it, I think a lot of people just find a guild or a group of people that cares on the same level as they do, and they kind of like compete with each other, and that drives them to put that time in, so that it doesn't feel like they're really putting that much time in. But if they add it all up together, it's definitely a few thousand hours of. Yeah, I'd be surprised if it wasn't like 2,000 hours of training and 3,000 or 4,000 hours of farming or something like that.
okay. Yeah, that's a lot. Okay,
Yeah.
so my next question is, how viable is it to have, let's just say 6 CRA-able characters? You know,
Mm-hmm.
just for like passive income. Just like, you know, we all know that the crystal price is changing. You know, for our benefit.
Yeah.
And you know, I did the math, and it looks very appealing. Um, but like that would also be a detour. You know, I mean, Zero's obviously going to be my primary farmer, but I
Yeah,
got a
wouldn't
couple
work on it.
guys that are close.
Yeah, wouldn't work on it right now for you. Definitely is the opportunity is if whenever there's a terror burn, um, and you know there's like rewards up to 220 and everything, I would like bump those to 220. On a character that you can see yourself doing those bosses on, because at 220, if you get that gear and you are able to, you know, shortly after, like do enough root abyss and then you can clear those bosses pretty cleanly at 220. If you have like the link skill setup that you do, you're gonna have a bunch of nodes that you can throw into it. Even with just like 100 or 200 nodes, you can already get a lot of results out of good bossing mules. And then you can have it as a backup, because since you're going to be trading, or sharing, I should say, sharing the totems, having that as a fallback is probably going to be a good idea for you. Because if you feel like going really hard on the Zero, that means that you can't really train on the Hoyoung. What are you going to do in the rest of the time? Or if you want to train hard on the Hoyoung, that means that the Zero is not going to be able to farm efficiently. What are you going to do with the rest of the time, right? So I think it's good to have that as like a third thing that you can do, that you can at least do some weekly bosses. And it does seem like you do enjoy playing a lot of different characters as well, so you can scratch the itch as well of making sure that you've played a little bit of the different aspects of the game and played a little bit of different classes.
Like where my Zero is right now, that's exactly where my Xenon is.
Mm-hmm.
Which like everything I'm doing for my Zero right now is what I was gonna do for my Xenon. Until Zero came out, and then I hated it, and then I was okay with it, and then I like loved it, like
Yeah,
throughout
the
like the
stages,
course
yeah.
of a week. Yeah, and then now it's just like I really this is a really good class. Like
Mm-hmm.
anybody who made Zero, like it's a good time. I mean, I'm a Hoyoung main, but like for an alt, yeah, this is great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when it comes to stuff like CRA, they'll probably be a little bit on the weaker side because they're mostly a support, right? But they can still do it, from what I heard, like very well. So yeah, but there's definitely some specialists for like if you just want to have like a CRA clearing character, like a Blade Master, like a dual blade, right? Arc and Adele, for example, can do it so easily, so just so quickly. I think that Kane might be able to do it very well as well, but I haven't tried those out yet. Well, you've seen Project CRA, right? You've seen some characters where it was just like a total joke, and other characters where it was based on my mood during the video. You could kind of tell if it was the first try or if it was the 14th try.
Yeah, definitely seen you rage at Xenon, but yeah, you can turn off laser.
That was not my thing. It's a good thing I got rid of that photon thing, because it was just, you just get hard countered by it, because by the time you charge, like, the boss disappears again and you can never really use it fully. So getting rid of that was right, because sometimes you're just like really tunnel vision, right, on like, okay, this is a good skill, it does a lot of damage, so I have to use it. But then sometimes when you get rid of it, you just have so much freedom, and then you can see clearly.
Bonbon's definitely the worst on Xenon.
Yeah, Bonbon was, well, for all the characters, Bonbon is like really, it's definitely the easiest, and Xenon was the only one where it's like, damn, it's a little bit annoying. Yeah, the photon does like nothing against Vellum, because he's never out long enough to aim, and it's like, when you're stronger, probably, with the binds, and you get more used to it, you can definitely use it for more damage when it's leveled up and everything. But at level 1,
Oh, and like the thing you said about like going hard on the events when they come, I don't know if you noticed by like my NX set on like most of my mules.
Yeah, I noticed a little bit. Yeah.
I went super hard on Hotel Maple. I mean, I played 10 hours a day every day for like 3 weeks straight.
I went to the picnic club here.
Yeah, I went hard, man. Like, it was fun, but like, yeah, I don't mind doing that, but I don't think I do it on every event.
Yeah, well, that's why I do those event previews as well, not just like, because it allows you to get like a glimpse into, okay, is there anything that I care about in this event? And then if there's something you care about, then you just look that up more and then go hard on that. But that's the way I do the previews for myself as well. I see, okay, oh, this content exists. Okay, what are the rewards? Okay, I don't care about these. Okay, skip. Because there's so much you can do. You have to have some kind of hierarchy filter or priority filter for yourself to keep sane. Because I mean, you could do everything, but you can only do that for a little bit, and then you just completely burn yourself out. So it's good to have that priority. Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, I do like playing a lot of characters. When would be a good time? Given Hoyoung, leveling good, given Hoyoung having like better gear, given Zero like online, when would be a good time to like then start thinking about like having, multiple CRA mules? Because I was thinking, like, I did the math, and like 12 seems good. Like 12 seems like good for progression, but like the investment's a lot. But like I feel like I would enjoy it the most like once it's actually, rolling.
With 12 characters?
That could, like 12 characters that could do CRA. So right now I have like 1 2/3. So like Xenon and Zero, like they're close to like being able to solo it, but like not quite.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot. 12 is a lot. Don't want to so I would work on them definitely one at a time, even if you're going to make that many, right? Never spread yourself too thin. But I'd probably wait until you get the Zero at the point where it can train in Arcana, right? Then that one's totally online. For the Hoyoung, it's gonna depend on whether or not you want to be able to switch into like buying all of the stuff out and having enough droplets and everything, and then by winter maybe moving into Arcane. If you think that's doable by like January, February, then that'll eat up a lot of your money. And that might be a better priority than the characters. But of course, if that boss crystal thing goes through and it's a decent amount of money, probably be a good idea to have like, I don't know. I don't want to project like my use of time onto you, because if I hear like I have 12 characters that can do CRA, you want to have them strong enough that it's not like 10 minutes per boss.
Yeah, it's sub 5, yeah, for the time cost and.
Yeah, exactly. But like the amount of funding you have to do to get them that strong is decent, and at that point, you don't really want to throw too much money at them. You rather just want to level them a bit more, get a bit more nodes, and just get access to more symbols and get a bunch, do some dailies to get like a bunch of free stat from there instead. It might not have to be that much of direct funding. And that's why you pick those classes, right, with those really good kits. Because some characters might only need like a few bill and like 100 nodes and they're good to go. And those are typically the characters I would prioritize to do it on. So like I said, like Dual Blade, Arc, Adele, like those are really broken. They can start doing it very quickly.
Yeah.
I think Demon Slayer is also going to be a really strong character once you hit 5th job. And yeah, be like 215 or 220 or something, and then they can probably do it faster than your Zero can. Not, you know, Zero still has that extra level of funding to compensate for it. But the kits for like bossing, for solo bossing, are crazy good. The Lumi was surprisingly good.
Oh, I can't do mages, man. Can't do it.
I thought
I'm
so
excited
too. I hate mages, but the Lumi is really strong. It's got a good kit for bossing really early on. They really switched from being like brain dead AoE mobbers to being more like specialist damage dealers on bossing. They really changed over the years. I like Cannon Master a lot. I think that one has a really good kit to start bossing very early on as well.
Yeah, I'm not at 5th yet with my cannon, but he's fun so far. I like him.
Well, fifth job is so fun once you get to throw out those giant bullets.
You love that bullet.
I love it.
It's your favorite, I know.
Love that.
You know, I can't wait for Laura too. Laura's gonna be a good time.
I think it's gonna be an interesting class, yeah, for sure.
Another flash jump mage.
Yeah.
So that's probably gonna be like my mage main.
Yeah, so I would take it one at a time, and maybe like by winter, like, you know, depending on your priorities, but like by winter maybe set up like those first 4 or something, those first 4 strong ones, and then just kind of see how that goes. If you feel like, because I have a lot of characters I can boss on, and usually the week runs out before I get around to all the characters to do it on, because you want to do like ideal, right? You want to switch the links over, you want to make sure you have the buffs and everything. And then for me, of course, you know, with these progression sessions and with doing all the stuff that I want to do, it's like hard to find the time to kind of optimally allocate to doing it. But you'll have more freedom, of course, because you don't, you know, have to talk to shitters in the Twitch chat and stuff like that. So you can do what you want a little bit more. So you might have the time to move it around. Plus, hopefully soon-ish we get those extra moving of the link skills. That should give us a bunch more freedom to get the bossing mules on the road.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, work on 200s and 210s definitely, and just like taste the 5th job skills, and then see which ones you really like and which ones you want to boss with, because it's going to be a feeling thing, right? You have to feel like you're playing what you want to play.
Well, after Xenon and Zero, like I've already decided, it's gonna be Shade. Shade's gonna be my 4th guy. He's just, I don't know. I know he's like, he's on the weaker side, but he's nice. I like him.
Yeah, the split plus that 4th new skill that should give a decent chunk. It's just there's a lot of stuff, intricacies for Shade that I don't know yet, like which skills trigger and what is exactly the survivability. And you've got that golden fairy with the wings and shit. I don't know how that one works exactly. There's still like a lot of unknowns. I really have to go like read the kit and then talk to some Shades to really figure out how that character works exactly.
I feel it. Just back stuff. It feels good. Feels good. Feels too good.
It is. Yeah. I did the Monster Parker on him, and that was backstep and foxtrot just dashing all over the place. Feels nice to get around for sure.
But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to like. What's your upload schedule for YouTube? Because like I'm gonna keep this as like a reference, like this whole video.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could just clip it from my stream and I'll just upload it right after. The longer it is, the longer it takes to process, but I don't know how long it takes exactly, but it'll probably online in like, I don't know, like 3 hours or something.
Okay.
It'll definitely be visible.
Yeah, man, this was fun. You know, I've been watching you for a while. I guess you would consider me a lurker, but you know,
a lot of those, so it's okay.
Yeah, but I'm there. You know, I'm not in chat, but I'm there.
No, that's fine. Well, yeah. Do you have any remaining questions?
I mean, as soon as we hang up, of course. You know,
yeah.
But, like,
Most
that
likely.
was the time. Yeah.
Well, hopefully you'll feel more free to just throw them in the chat if you do have those kind of questions.
Yeah, I'd have to like make a Twitch account and stuff. I'm not very social media-y. You know, I'm kind of more like private. You know, just like stay in the den and just
I see. I see.
code or podcast or not podcast, watch podcasts and stuff. So, um, trying to think. I can't think of nothing, man.
I mean, that's good. That means I did my job, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I definitely wanted like the resource to like refer back to this video,
Yep.
time and time again. So,
Well, get to helixing, dude. That's like a big gatekeeper for damage for bossing and also for allowing you to spend your money. So look at the backups that you need for the upcoming pieces. Work on those dailies, and then work on those pieces in the midterm, and then in the long term, keep your eyes on Arcane. Basically, so three major.
I know this doesn't apply to me yet or like anytime soon, but how long is it taken to like max out those Cernium symbols? Is it like taking a minute?
I think in Korea they said 900 days.
What?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it is what it is. I would just like to know in advance,
Yeah, they have been in KMS, like putting them in as rewards into shops, like in the same way as arcane symbols, but like pretty limited amounts. So you can start speeding it up a little bit. But yeah, for the first people to do it, it's gonna take like 2 years plus to max those. And then as time goes on, they'll probably start adding more dailies or increasing or events with bonuses and events with shops. And then, slowly everyone will start catching up little by little. That's how it was with Arcane Power as well, right? Like the first time it was just like, Vanishing Journey just gives 8 symbols a day and then you start moving up. And now Vanishing Journey gives 22 a day, right? So it's like, and then there's events and the shops. So you're at like 3 times the speed now. So something similar will probably happen to the arcane, the sacred symbols as well, but that's going to take a while. They don't want to. They have to like not really create the illusion of value, but you have to make sure that the new players who get there really feel like they're getting their bang for their buck for doing those dailies, because it is a lot of stat. Like level 1 is 500 stat, and then every level past that is 300 stat. So that is. Damn. Yeah, and then once you have enough to be able to train there, the experience rates are just like over double compared to Limina. So you're paying a premium in the fact that your meso rates go down, which you won't be as bothered by because you're on the Hoyoung anyway, and you're not going to be in full meso. But then the extra experience there is going to be crazy. If you're in full damage set, you'll be able to train there pretty quickly. But at that point, you're looking at like 21-star CRA, 21-star accessories, probably 17-star full. Arcane set, right? Like you're going to be at that point. Then you should be able to kill there pretty quickly. Never-ending dailies, true, yeah. So
I mean, like, yeah, your whole your arc is all set up and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So given like like the proper setup, like what are your rates right now as a 270 plus?
So I'm training in Burning Cernium, but with Meso gear.
Yeah.
And then my familiars make it so that I have 100% drop for the cash. It's kind of dependent on whether I get MVPs and the burning of the map. But like yesterday, I think if the burning of the map is like average where I'm at, usually like level 5 or 6 when I start, and then it ends down to 0 once the totem is done. I get roughly around 360 billion experience per hour. Compared to where was that Limina? I think I was going around 160, 170.
Wow.
And meso-wise, yeah. Meso-wise in Limina, I could make around 800 mil an hour. Just trading, and then, with meso gear on. And I also had drop rate gear on there, right? Because you don't need to be as strong and you can get more droplets and stuff. And then in Burning Cernium now I make a little bit over 600 mil an hour, so it's not as bad. But like before I could switch to the meso gear, I was making like just over 300 an hour, like 340, 350 or something. So going from 800 to less than half, but then experience going more than double. You know, that's like the premium that you're paying. But now, since the event shops, you know, have the droplets and everything, and I don't really need familiars anymore, that's not as much a cost for me to move on to the next area. But if if your familiars are done at that point, then you can move on. If you still need familiars, maybe you'll get a bunch of familiars instead from your zero, because maybe your zero is going to be training at a different area by then. Maybe training in a Sphera or something, right? Maybe training in Limita by then. And then you can just keep an influx of familiar cards for a long time, and then that won't be as much of a cost to your Hoyoung moving on.
I don't want to keep you forever. I mean, you know, I'd stay forever, but
Yeah, yeah, can't do that anymore.
Yeah, you got stuff to do. And I got dailies, but yeah,
Yep.
man, this was great. This was fun. This was, you know, I got like a permanent reference piece now, and it's
Yeah, true. Yeah, I'll make sure
to.
to clip it and put it online soon, so you can check it out.
I mean, well, you know, I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, no problem. I mean, you paid for it, right? Least
Yeah,
I can do.
Yeah, I just, you know, it's. You saw my comment like earlier, like when I sent you that, you know, it's like that's kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. You're good. No, I'm glad. I like doing this, and I hope it helps you out, and you know, helps prioritize and set some things in order. And I wish you the best of luck with everything.
Thanks, man. My next goal is breakfast, so.
You can do it.
Man.
All right. Have a good time. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So very different from normal, right? People combination with a farmer and a main with zero. A little different equip sets, but we try to go by what you already have and how we can move forward from that. And we gotta try to start which things you already know, which things you don't know yet. Oh, we didn't go as deeply into the flames, I guess, as we talked about. Little scooper afterwards. So when it comes to the flames and the flame score, I do have a flame video on that, so definitely check that one out under !flames. But basically, we try to future-proof the value of your flame when you're looking at the flame of an item. So when you look at, so there's two things we look at, right? We look at the potential. Well, we only look at one thing, like what is the potential outcome? Like how good is an average flame that you throw in there? And every single item has a different potential outcome. Shoulder has a 0. You can't flame it. Very easy. Move on to the next one. Absolute Knight Gloves has a pretty high outcome. Why? It has flame advantage. That's something you just have to know. And it has a high level 160, which means that whenever you roll a flame, it gets the high tier results. The highest tier results will be on level 200 on the Arcane, because they're also flame advantaged. That means that every individual flame has a certain expectation of results, right? And depending on, basically you're comparing that value to all of the items that you could throw a flame on, and then you determine this item has the highest expected value for a flame, so this is going to be my highest priority to flame. And with that also comes the lowest chance of dropping in a flame, right? And that's basically how you look through everything. So the scores that you aim for are going to be in the progression grid based on the weapon flame, the flame score for non-advantage items, and the flame score for advantage items. And what the score is it looks at how strong are you going to be in a different stage of the game, how high are you going to score in all of these categories. And when your scores in all of these categories are roughly at these intervals where you want them to be able to do the content at the game, and to have like somewhat efficiently spent your time on the game, that's when this flame is going to give you this amount of value. And the flame score tries to project that into the future. Because as these values fluctuate, those numbers will also fluctuate of the value of your flame. But you don't want to have to reflame your item every week, right? That'll get super expensive just to optimize in your current situation. You want to optimize for your future situation that you're going towards. And that is why the flame score is important, and that's why that's the score that we look for. So the score takes all of the values of your flames that give you any kind of damage and translates them to, this is roughly how much main stat equivalent it would be. That's the number. So that's the number you see here. That's the 85, the 95, the 40, no, not the 40, the 25. That's the number. So you see on items without flame advantage, even the high level items, you end up aiming not that high at all. Like end game people aim for like 60 or a little bit above 60. Like that's what you end up with. But even if the items with advantage that are as low as the flame, the cup, for example, the pink holy cup that has flame advantage at level 140, even in the mid stage of the game, you want to aim for like an 80 to an 85 on that item, which is already a huge difference here, right? And that gives you more insight in what is the value of a flame and what do you use the flame on versus how high are you aiming for the specific item. But yeah, definitely check out the flame video for more information on that. It goes more into detail, and it also looks at the grid. It looks at an old version of this grid, so make sure when I reference the progression grid that you check my chat for the up-to-date one that is right here. It should also link to the grid in the video description, and this is the same link, like I updated it in the same link. So if you click it there, you'll see updated numbers. And I've also changed the ranges of the levels since then in the different stages of the game because of the added content and because the level cap going up from 275 to 300 and actual new content coming out. This is a projection for Darmur because it takes about 10 years for them to get to the new boss. So I gave them an extra year, you know, because of COVID. They probably had some slowdown. So they should have Darmur done by 2032. I think that's doable. All right. With all that, I hope this was all informational for you guys. Hopefully you saw at least a few things you could pick up on and get some advice for your own situation that you're in. If you do feel like you also want one of these sessions for you, you can also do them privately off stream if you want to. For all of that, there's the information on pricing and on the duration and all of that in the description of the video. If you have data for me, battle analyses, monster skill per hour, or training videos, then you can send those to me as well. You saw me go through my grid before and look for the training video. That's where all that information will go, and you'll be able to see. Basically, I use it to inform this grid, and this grid will inform everyone who's playing the game. Plus, I hate when it does that. And this will also inform our class picker application that we're looking at making to help people pick which classes will fit their playstyle. It's a lot of numbers. It's a lot of stuff going on, okay? We've got the classification, visualize, we've got the new numbers that I'm working on, visualization, so I can look at the distribution of the numbers, battle analysis numbers, and monster skill per hour on all the different maps in the game for all the classes. The more information we have in there, the more accurate the more accurately we can rank all the classes, and the more accurately we can give advice to new players and existing players on which classes would fit your needs. Last but not least, if you want to join the Scardor Guild in Reboot, there's also a link for that in the description. And with that, I just would like to thank you for watching. And make sure you check out the patch preview for the new stuff coming next week to GMS. A lot of you have already seen it. And I'll be going over the KMS stuff soon as well. There was some new news from KMS coming out, so stay tuned for that. I'll see you on the next one, and peace out.